Hello everyone, the Gaming Rev here, welcome to my channel. The No Proc-sets Cyrodiil has finally arrived on console as well. This means that until September we will only be able to run our builds from a very limited selection of No Proc-sets. That is, sets that do not require any form of calculation based on conditions. You can still run other sets, but the proc aspects of it will not work. This means that the fifth bonus line of most sets, the third line of some 3-piece sets, and all the second bonus line of every monster set will not be active all the way to September in Cyrodiil. In this video I'm going to present you my No Proc-set version of my Conqueror Magicka Templar PVP build, which displays incredible damage, almost unlimited sustain and very good survivability. For the proc-set version of the same build, just please check out the build video in the link in the description. Also, if you like this build, feel free to leave a like, a subscribe and click on the notification bell to make sure not to miss out any future content. It's free and it will really help me grow this channel. Anyway, without any further ado, let's look at my PvP Magicka Templar for the No Proc-sets Cyrodiil. Let's begin with the race. I am a high elf, by far the best race for this class, as its passives synergize really well with Magicka Templars. Take for example Spell Recharge. It's fantastic for stamina sustain and damage mitigation, as your spammable has a cast time. Bane Boon offers you 2k max Magicka and elemental talent spell damage. Good alternatives would be Dark Elf, Khajiit and Breton. Any other race would still work but would be subpar in my opinion. I am a vampire, stage 3. This is to access really good skills like Swarming Scion and Elusive Mist, as well as some really good passives like Strike from Shadows for an extra 300 spell damage for 6 seconds, and Undeath for the damage mitigation. You don't have to be a vampire for this build to work, and I'm gonna show you some alternative skills and setups that you can run to optimize this build to non-vampiric alternatives. The Mundus stone that I'm currently running is the Atronach for sustain. If you feel like you're over sustaining, because with this build you sustain really well, you could run the Apprentice for damage, or the Mage for both sustain and damage. Let's take a look at my buff stats. Got 43k Magicka, which scales really well with Purifying Light and Extended Ritual, as we're gonna see later. I've got 27 plus k health, 22k stamina, which is amazing for blocking and dodge rolling. You're not gonna run out of stamina on this build, I guarantee, even in an outnumbered situation. For my recoveries, I've got 1500, just over 1500, almost 1600 Magicka recovery, but this isn't all that there is. To that number you need to add 480 from Channel Focus and 336 from Elemental Drain, which will bring it up to around 2400, which is more than enough sustain on a Magicka Templar. And then I've got 788 stamina recovery, which again is sufficient in a PvP scenario, even in an outnumbered situation, thanks to the Spell Recharge passive that we looked at earlier. Spell damage is really high, just over 6100, which is great on Magplas since they have access to minor sorcery that they apply both to themselves and other people in the group. Spell crit is just under 28%, and spell penetration flat is just under 7600, but to that you need to add the 5,948 of elemental drain, bringing it to a total of 13.5k spell penetration, which again converts into great damage. So yeah, this build hits really hard. Not only you've got really high Magicka pool, but you've got really high spell damage and really high spell penetration. With regards to my resistances, I have 27k, almost 27k spell resist and almost 22k physical resist when I stand within the rune. Outside I've got 24k spell resist and 19k physical resist, which is quite decent, especially since we're not running 5 pieces heavy armor, as we're gonna see a little later. Crit resist, I've only got the standard 1444. In this meta, you're not gonna be taking a lot of crit damage unless you are facing you know, very specific builds, but generally speaking you're not going to be suffering a lot from crit damage, so you don't really need to build a lot of crit resist. Let's take a look at my consumables. For food, I ran Tri-Stat purple food. This because I'm a vampire, so I really don't care for health recovery, because it wouldn't really be helpful. But if you're not a vampire, I would say run the Bewitch Sugar Skulls for the extra line of health recovery. For potions, I run the Alliance Spell Draft for Major Sorcery and Major Prophecy. Now these pots are amazing, they're super cheap, you can buy them with Alliance points, and they basically free up a slot on your skills bar, which especially on Magicka tunes is very much needed. Alternatively, you can run Tri-Stat pots. Definitely always carry with you Essence of Detection. The pots I've crafted, they grant me not only spell detection but major sorcery as well, so that I don't lose it while detecting all those sneaky Nightblades. And then Essence of Invisibility when it gets really tough and you want to make a quick escape. Now let's take a look at the sets that I am wearing on my body. I wear 5-piece Shackle Breaker, which in my opinion is best in slot for all-around stats in a No Proc-sets Cyrodiil. It offers you max stamina, max Magicka, spell and weapon damage, as well as Magicka and stamina recovery. In this meta in Cyrodiil, it really is foundational for most builds right now. On my front bar I run Spinners. It offers 2 lines of Magicka plus a ton of spell penetration, which is useless for self-heals, but great for damage. This is why I don't run it on my back bar. Instead of a Destro Staff, I run a 2H Nirnhorn Great Sword for the juicy spell damage. Heavy weapons, in fact, grant you 284 weapon and spell damage while wielding a Great Sword. Something that buffs all types of damage. So you won't have the issue or the choice really of running either a flame staff or a lightning staff. 2H great swords, they will buff all your damage, whether it is single target or AoE. On my back bar I run a powered Ice Staff of Willpower, as it offers reduced cost when you block, as well as reduced amount of damage that you can block, plus a line of max Magicka to buff all your heals, and this scales really well with Extended Ritual. Now for monster sets, obviously we can't run any complete set of monster sets, and this is really entirely up to you. I've chosen to run Moloch, Keen and Dummy House for extra stats and spell damage. With regards to the combination of armor types that I'm wearing, I run 3 heavy, 3 light and 1 medium. This way I benefit from the Undaunted Metal passive, which again boosts all of my stats, health, stamina and Magicka. but also the 3 heavy and 3 light neutralize their respective weaknesses while retaining their strengths. Now if you find that you are still too squishy in only 3 light and 3 heavy, you can run 5 heavy, 1 light and 1 medium. It will make you tankier, but at the expense of damage, so that's entirely up to you. With regards to traits, I run 1 infused on the head, 2 reinforced on heavy chest and legs, 1 sturdy, 2 well fitted and 1 impen on the remaining small pieces. With regards to jewelry, I run arcane on all my pieces with 1 spell damage glyph and 2 reduced cost glyphs. Now, the reduced cost glyphs not only help me mitigate the cost increase of vampirism and misform, but they generally help you sustain better than recovery glyphs. You see, recovery glyphs give you back resources effectively every 2 seconds. That's how any kind of recovery in this game works. It gives you back resources every 2 seconds according to the value of recovery that you've achieved. However, you can cast multiple skills in those 2 seconds. So a reduced cost on your skills will result in greater sustain than the same value in regen. So there you go, free tip for you for OP sustain. Let's take a look at my skills. Front bar, I've got Purifying Light, which is a flex spot as it doesn't really hit as hard as it used to. However, it still provides that burst that you often need to finish people off, which you can time really well with Crescent Sweep, making your finishing quite bursty. Irrespective of what skill you put in there though, you should always slot a Dawn's Wrath skill that you can precast, because that's how you activate the minor sorcery to yourself and other members of the group, thanks to the Illuminate passive. Solar Barrage and Living Dark are also excellent alternatives. I would use Solar Barrage in a group while Living Dark in outnumbered situations. In a light, then for Max Magicka and Major Prophecy, although you get it from pot, but you won't have access to it if you run the Essence of Detection that I've talked to you about earlier. Toppling Charge is a gap closer and sets enemies off balance. Puncturing Sweeps, that's your spammable, and being a cast time, it activates the 5% damage mitigation of spell recharge. Then for a finisher, you've got Radiant Oppression. It's ranged, it's undodgeable, and if you can cast Purifying Light on top of it, you can really burst people down. And then finally for your ultimate, Crescent Sweep, it's cheap, it hits hard, and it's AoE with a following dot. It's great to finish people off, and it's almost always available, being that cheap. Another alternative would be Meteor. Then on my back bar, I run Elusive Mist. I say this every time, one of the biggest drawbacks of Maplas is the lack of mobility. And Elusive Mist really grants you unlimited repositioning and incredible damage mitigation. The drawbacks are that you can't heal yourself or by others, and all your recoveries are suppressed. However, because of channeled focus, which restores to you 240 magic every second independently from your Magicka recovery, you can stay in this form almost unlimitedly. On top of that, it grants you 300 spell damage every time you come out of mist form if you're a stage 2 vampire. So I recommend casting it and swap cancel it to activate the spell damage bonus every time you move from your back bar to your front bar. It costs you absolutely nothing, and if you get used to it, it will take a little practice at the beginning, but once it becomes natural, you will always have access to those 6 seconds of 300 spell damage on your front bar. Then For my heals, I've got Honor the Dead. That's your burst heal for yourself and others, and it also gives you about 18% of its cost every 2 seconds for 6 seconds if the target was below 75% health, which in Cyrodiil it's almost all the time. That's an extra 700 Magicka recovery for 6 seconds that you can add to the overall amount of Magicka resources given you back during a fight. Then I've got Extended Ritual, great AoE heal over time, plus it cleanses up to 5 negative effects from you, and others can activate the synergy, cleansing all of the negative effects on them, plus receiving a bit of a burst heal. Then I've got Elemental Drain that gives you Magicka back and applies Major Breach. Channel Focus, which grants you Major Resolve, which is 50% more effective when you stand in the room, plus Magicka back, the equivalent of 480 Magicka regen. Then last but not least, I've got Swarming Scion. This is an amazing skill. It boosts your stats by 10k each. It heals you for 16% of all the damage that you do, even when you're in mist form. I should point that out. And it does AoE damage. I often pop this when I'm pressured, when I'm outnumbered, or when I have to charge into a large group and kind of open a way for my group behind to then charge in, as I will be able to tank a lot of the damage on my own. You pop this and you suddenly become a tank. It's just such a great skill. If you are not a vampire, and obviously you don't have access to Elusive Mist and Swarming Scion, I would say for mobility, run Race Against Time, the Sigic skill, Race Against Time, and instead of Swarming Scion, you can use the Sigic skill Ultimate for more damage mitigation, and yeah, that should be it. Let's take a look at my champion points. In the craft green tree, I run Treasure Hunter, Rationer, Liquid Efficiency, and Steed's Blessing. In the warfare blue tree, I run Biting Aura, which boosts my AoE damage, since a lot of it is AoE. Now, if you would rather focus on single target, then run Deadly Aim instead. Then Duelist Rebuff, Untamed Aggression, and Arcane Supremacy. And finally, in the fitness red tree, I run Expert Evasion, Slippery, Rejuvenation, and Boundless Vitality. So there you have it, my PvP build, Magicka Templar PVP build for the No Proc-sets Cyrodiil. If you liked it, just give us a like and a subscribe. And also, if you want to follow me on Instagram for more kind of inspirational stuff and motivational stuff for gaming and life, yeah, just follow me on Instagram. Just hit me up at the Gaming Rev. You will definitely find me. The logos, the designs are exactly the same as on my channel, so you can't miss me. And yeah, it'll be great to connect with you that way as well. So till the next video, thank you very much for watching, and God bless you all. Bye bye.